Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fate Podcast, where we discuss film, anime, television, and other forms of entertainment. I am your host, Elijah, and this is my co-host here, Sam. What's up? How you doing?
What's up?
It's been a long time. Been a long time. But let's get into this, bro. Today we're gonna talk about Moon Knight, the whole series. You can find it on Disney Plus, only 6 episodes long. I know they finished it a couple weeks ago, but we've been busy. We haven't been able to record it until today. But we're just gonna recap the whole series. And Moon Knight felt like it's not the top of the pack, but it's not the bottom of the pack either. It's just like a little bit in the middle. I felt for the first couple of episodes, I just felt confused. Like I didn't know where they were taking this character. I know he's dealing with split personality, whatever, and I like the characters of Mark and Steven, and their dynamic of how they go back and forth. But like the plot wise, it was just like, I don't know. I didn't care too much about why they were there, and what with Ethan Hawke's character, the villain. He was fine, but I didn't care. I just didn't care what they were doing. I just like Moon Knight of itself, but as far as the plot goes, I didn't care too much about it to really be engaged and whatnot, or try to understand what was going on. What about you?
Think when like you kind of think about the whole series as a whole, like everything, it kind of feels like you got the first chunk of like a really big movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't really feel like the pieces of one movie. It kind of just felt like the pieces of the first part of a movie almost. Like I guess I'm just saying it felt incomplete. Like I really liked it a lot because it was a brand new character, one that I particularly didn't really know except for just like a couple things just in passing, but in general it was completely new, and I would probably say that that's true for the majority of the audience. Like everybody was just kind of like, who is this guy? And it's funny to think that like there's such an epic moment where he's just like, rise is my Moon Knight, and like like that movie, that line like ends up hitting like so well compared to like I'm trying to think of like there was some other superhero movie or something recently that was just like I was so excited for it, and then I was just like, that's like the most mediocre thing I've ever seen. And like it just kind of was like, wait, that should have been the heat, and that should have been like, that feels weird that like we're trying to be so serious and say Moon Knight, but like,
Yeah.
okay, we're in a world where that was badass. Cool. I like the inclusion of Egyptian mythology. I used to be a super nerd of that stuff, that and Greek mythology, so I really like that. And I also really enjoyed the fact that it is something that is 100% within the MCU world, but still feels like it's doing its own thing, which I found refreshing, just because it was like, okay, I don't need to keep up with the main storyline. Here's just kind of a tale of something else that's happening within the MCU. Like on that earth, there's just a whole nother hero doing its own thing in another part of the world. And that's it. Watch what happens with this. And I thought that was great. The villain was awesome, but not as awesome to the effect that like there's just like not this like great attachment almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a show that sort of set out to do like a lot of things, accomplished it, many of them, but
Mhm.
still it felt like a lot of threads were hanging. And of course, they kind of cover their bases there, but still, like, it was a lot happening, and it just felt like they almost could have used a little more time.
Yeah. I think when the first episode opened up, I kind of enjoyed how they did it. Steven was the main guy, and you saw how he lived and how he has to like restrain himself to the bed because he realized he has another personality that goes out, or he goes out and he doesn't know where he's at when he wakes up. So all and you got to introducing to Ethan Hawke's character Arthur, and stuff. So okay, first episode, bam, cash. It's a hook. It was a good hook. And then
Mhm.
like second, third episode, it's just like, all right, um, where's where's more Moonlight? Like first episode, you got him, and then like you didn't get him barely again until like the last episode. I guess you kind of got him the second episode, when you're fighting the beast. But like you really got Mark and Steven, and I get that you have to focus on the characters, but come on, it is Moon Knight. So hopefully they can fix that next season. But I think the middle was kind of like a long way to get to that final episode. Was surprising. I was hooked on that final episode. He be fully understand himself. He became Moon Knight and Mr. Moon Knight. Um,
Yeah.
so that was good. And I like the two separate. So who was personality is playing Moon Knight and stuff like that. And I love how they added the Layla being the female Egyptian god, with the wings and stuff like that. That was cool.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah. So I
Or
was just like,
Wonder Woman than actual Wonder Woman.
yeah, Shoot Cat, she kind of reminded me of Wonder Woman. Um, but yeah, I'm happy they introduced that to the characters. And again, like you said, Moon Knight is a new character. So I love Marvel expanding on their characters list. Than the originals, Iron Man, Spider-Man, whatever. We know all of them and whatnot. So now you're going to use characters that we haven't seen, and hopefully you can do them justice. And I'm not saying they haven't done Moon Knight justice. It's still a decent and good show. It's just like I wasn't was just like, oh my god, you really need to see it like another time or tell other people about it and stuff. So that's basically what I got from it. I'm happy that they have Moon Knight, and I hope uh you know we see more of Moon Knight. I just There's just one thing, like I was kind of disappointed where they didn't even link Moon Knight to any of the um Marvel characters that we already see, that being like uh Nick Fury or um like whoever like Doctor Strange, whoever was in that universe. They just told a story about Moon Knight and that was it. Like, and then we have to obviously assume that he's in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, well, there's like a couple vague mentions that they have within it. Like they talk about the blip.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They do
You're
mention
right.
that.
You're right.
And then additionally, uh have you heard about the scrapped like cameos that they were gonna do? Like one
No.
of them was gonna be they were gonna have somehow like Gore the God Butcher. That's going to be the main villain in Thor Love and Thunder. They were gonna have that, but they were like, no, like that doesn't really make sense just because the movie's just gonna release like too far from the show and it just feels
Mhm.
weird. Um and then the other one that they had almost done was they almost had the Eternals show up.
Yeah, that's gonna be that could be
Which
a
could have
good
been
one.
that could have been an interesting cameo. But then again, they said they as they were trying to work on it, they were just like it just didn't make sense. It didn't feel right to add
Mhm.
anything. And ultimately, I respect that just because
No,
like I said, I like that it wasn't fully like
yeah.
they didn't put in anyone else. Like, yes, it's
Hmm.
good, but they were just like, no. This thing can stand on its own legs. And I like that they tried to do that. They didn't try to put anything else attached to it to be like, okay, let's get eyes on this project.
Yeah.
They just tried to use Oscar Isaac and the other star power that they had.
No, I can't agree with you on that. Like, I rather have none than being forced, you know? So you have
Hmm.
to really make sense. I was just kind of disappointed because I was like, okay, how are you gonna enter the Marvel universe? But I guess they have plans um to do more with him, even though, have you heard about them talking about this is like a one show deal, like Oscar Isaac saying, oh, I only sign on for one season, you know? Um, and
Yeah, I
all
mean,
these
I bet they did that just because they're just like, we don't want to sign some. Because I think they decided to shy away from signing up actors.
multiple contracts, yeah.
Yeah, because I think that was kind of a problem for some of the actors because they just want to be able to do other projects, and
Hmm.
thankfully they've kind of come around to respect that, which is kind of cool to see that like Kevin Feige and like all those people are like reasonable enough to just be like, oh yeah, fuck it, we forgot, we were kind of just so caught up in our own thing here, so excited, we assumed that you would just want to do all this, so like, oh yeah,
Hmm.
you can go do your own thing, but like, we really want you here, so if you can, please, but hey, go do your own thing. So
Gotcha.
I kind of like that.
Okay. Yeah, because you know, going back to Moon Knight, like we saw a third personality, which they kind of hinted at, Jack, I believe, right?
I just looked it up because I was about to say Jack. It's Jake Lockley.
Oh, Jake. Okay, yeah, Jake Lockley. Yes. So we kind of got a hint of that in I think like second, third episodes when he beat up those kids. Um,
Well, funny enough, looking back, I think that's who presented themselves in like the first and second episodes when he's like, "Why are you killing all these people?" He's just like, "That wasn't me, man."
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
So,
that was what so they
oh,
did
okay,
it.
okay,
Yeah,
because there
so
was some later where it happens again, and then
it happened,
what the
I think it only happened twice when he goes and fight those kids and then he blacked out and then all of them like dead and Stephen was like, what did you do? And Mark was just like, oh wow, that wasn't me. And then they just went off doing their own thing. I'm like, well, okay, now um there's a third person, and they did at the finale when they're about to lose, and then he comes out and then everyone's dead. um so yeah, so they're definitely going to be a season two, even though they're saying like, oh no, we only signed on to do one, so I'm like, no, there ain't no way. There was a end credit scene, so you're going to leave that end credit scene says there without another season? I don't know.
No, I think they'd like to do a second. I mean, even if they don't get Ethan Hawke back to do like his villain thing, like fine. Like,
No, he's dead.
oh yeah, I just forget that like
Yeah,
because he was in
spoiler
that
alert.
end credit scene.
Yeah.
Um that like I just confused that for a second. But yeah, um I love that part just because like I really didn't know what to expect in the end credit scene because like you just get the time jump real quick. He blacked
Mm-hmm.
and he's won now, and I'm kind of like, really? That's it? I just get sucker punched and like it's over.
Yeah.
Okay, um, fine. I was like trying to be okay with it, and then they
Yeah.
made up for it with the end credit scene. I was just like, oh, okay, I'm cool with that ending then.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, overall though, I thought the journey with Steven and Mark and just kind of like him coming to an understanding and like the episode where they're dead and they're going through their own memories and everything, I found that to be very profound.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really interesting it gives you a lot of insight to the character. I just thought Oscar Isaac just really killed the emotional aspect. Like he just nailed it. It was so excellent. And I thought the woman that plays Layla was
Mhm.
excellent as well. I thought she was just a perfect counter to that, just because like it's his like grip to reality almost, because she knows Mark, she loves him, but like he's got all these other layers to it, and just like going up part of her journey of just like, who is this guy? Like I thought I knew him. Who the hell is he? And her kind of just like very Indiana Jones like attitude and character that she sort of brought to the story was just awesome. And like you said, when she kind of became that superhero for that little bit, that was just
Yeah,
awesome.
she killed it.
Like I just love the part where like just even introducing the suit and bringing out the wings, I was like, all right, that was sick.
I'm like, yeah, I can dig it.
Like, and that's why I brought up Wonder Woman, because like Wonder Woman 1984, she had a similar sort of I mean much bigger and grand, but like had a similar thing. And like that's like the kind of moment I'd wanted in that movie. But that movie was so boring.
Yeah, no, it was like
But like with her, I was like, oh my god, that was epic. And like, you know, she fights in that just that small moment where she's like, are you like little kids like you an Egyptian superhero? Just kind of taking a moment to be like, I am. Like, I was like, all right, that was pretty sick. Like just imagine you're a kid and you're just like, wait, we got an Egyptian superhero now, and the superhero's just like,
and then
yeah.
and then I think they kind of it is a subtle thing with that, because in the beginning she was just like, I don't want to be in a suit. I don't want to be in the suit. I don't want to be in a suit. And then she was in the suit because she has to help Mark. And then when the girl said, you know, oh, the first female Egyptian superhero, she was just like, I am. I guess, you know, that's her actually accepting, okay, fine, I can be a superhero, and one night I can have a god rest inside me and stuff. So yeah, that was great. And going back to the plot between Mark and Steven, I feel like that was one of the best parts in the show. Their story of coming together and struggling, than the overall plot of Moon Knight defeating Arthur and stuff like that. I think that storyline was the best out the show, because it captured emotion. You see Oscar Isaac in his playing multiple characters and doing it so well, because not a lot of actors can be able to do stuff like that. So it really touched on a lot of things, and they did it accurately without overstepping split personalities and all the other stuff. So yeah, I'll probably that yeah, that's probably one of the best parts of the show right now. And then, you know, how you feel about Moon Knight itself as a character, and Mr. Moon Knight, like when they transform.
Oh, yeah, I sort of thought that was interesting that they brought a duality to even like the suit, and that, you know, one of them, Mark, who is sort of taking the traditional vigilante um sort of look and attitude to combat, whereas Mr. Knight is all about um you know, he's more of trying to be more passive with his combat, it seems, you know, with the nunchucks, and he's more there just to kind of like, I'm fighting because I have to,
Type of thing, yeah.
yeah, whereas Moon Knight is more of like, I'm doing this for vengeance, because that's
Batman.
the
Yeah,
goal, right, yeah,
yeah,
he's
because
MCU's Batman for
yeah,
sure.
they were comparing him to Batman and stuff like that. So I can see that, yeah. Um, I mean, he looked like he's immortal too, because he gets shot and nothing
Yeah,
phases him.
the suit, it's healing wraps.
Hmm. What do you rate it?
Ooh. I almost want to say like a 7.5, just because like it's a good show. I thought it was interesting, but there's just enough things where it kind of feels like it stumbles with its pacing
Hmm.
and its timing and stuff. So I'd probably give it about 7.5, 7 maybe.
I'll give it my lowest is 6.5 and the highest is a 7.
Okay.
So in between there, I'll
Okay.
give it. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week to do Doctor Strange. Subscribe, like our channel, and peace. Deuces.
Peace.